Hi, I'm Shaka Starks and welcome to my channel. In this video, I am showing you my technique on how I do my full sew-in with the middle part. So if you want to see how I do my full sew-in and finesse my edges, keep watching. So I'm starting by just parting out my leave out. I had some white strips on my teeth, so that's what I was doing. I'm just parting away my edges because I don't want to braid that up. I don't want to leave out too much, but I want to leave out enough, you know, so that there's something under there when the wind blows. So now I'm just starting my anchor braids. I use some braiding hair for this part. I'm gonna do kind of a U shape around my leave out, like a half U, like an L shape. And then I'm going to do a braid straight back on the other side of the leave out. So I'm not braiding this tight. A little trick that I do to make sure that my braid doesn't slip back is I'll just start braiding like a regular plait before I grab any more hair to braid back, if that makes any sense. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm braiding this as close to the part as possible because I don't want to have a gap when I sew my track on that braid. And I'm just doing my other anchor braid. This is going to go around my head on one side. And I'm trying not to braid tight. That's the good thing about doing your own hair is you can tell, you know, when you need to ease up or when you need to, you know, make sure that you're grabbing hair because you know the parts of your hair that are a little more fragile or sensitive. So I braid these kind of loose but secure, but I just don't pull because I'm keeping in mind that I'm gonna sew my tracks on these braids. So I don't want to create more tension than I need to. Now I'm adding some of this oil to my edges and in my parts. I do that after each braid, and I actually put this oil on the braiding hair. Now I'm gonna finish my braids. I'm just doing corn rolls. On the ends, and now I'm taking that leave out part out just to make sure I left enough hair to cover the tracks. Do this before you braid up all your hair just in case it's not, but I knew it was going to be enough. I just wanted y'all to see what I do. And I am sewing that braid down so I can go ahead and add my dome cap. I love a dome cap for this technique. I got the wrong dome cap. This is not the one. I thought, I just looked under my sink and I was like, oh, I have a dome cap, so I don't need to get one. I don't even know. I think I had this because I made a wig for someone. So this one is a mesh dome cap. This is what it looks like. It's not terrible. I don't know. think I've used this one before. I don't really remember. I don't even remember buying this. So we're just gonna go with it. So now I'm going to sew the dome cap on to my anchor braids. I'm just taking my time and feeling for the braids and just sewing through the mesh cap. It ended up working out because I could see where the braids were a lot easier than the other dome cap that I used. I kind of let it like spread apart, like tear, and then I just make little tiny clips, little tiny, I don't know, cuts. And I just let it kind of tear on its own. This part is so important. Be super careful and make sure that when you put the dome cap on your head that you brush your edges and your leave out away from the dome cap so you don't accidentally clip it. So just take your time. You can always go back and trim if you need to. I say clip less in the beginning and then go back and clean it up. I did it! We did it! I did it! Ow! That hurt. Okay. So here we go. It's time to sew. Here we go. It's time to sew. I am too much for me. It's the song for me. It's a song for me, okay? Yeah. You can see I need to cut just a teensy right there. Make sure my hair is out of the way. Teensy. Oh, God bless you. Yeah. Okay, we come too far to mess up now, okay? Okay, look how flat this joint is. Okay. All right, look how flat this joint. So yeah, it's time to sew. My hair is wet because I just washed these bundles. It's the same bundles I used before. I don't know, this might be like my 5th or 6th, 7th. I've lost count. I've used these bundles so many times. So they're still wet. I figured by the time I finish sewing this in, my hair will be dry. No point in blow drying it or waiting for it to air dry. So I just double that weft. I fold it in half and I make sure that I put that track underneath this braid before I start sewing. So I lay it underneath the braid and then I just clip the other side to kind of help hold it up so it's not falling down and those two tracks stay together. So that's what I'm doing here, just sewing all the way across. And then I'm gonna flip it over. I don't cut any of this hair. I didn't cut any of this weft, which is why it's really easy for me to just sew this in really quickly and for me to reuse it. So that's a tip. If you want your bundles to last, try to limit how much you cut your tracks. So I'm going back and forth, just sewing back and forth, nothing special here. See, it's already getting dry. I'm trying to tell y'all, don't waste your time waiting for it to air dry or blow dry, because it's going dry. I'm going to take the end that's folded and I'm gonna put that joint all the way up here to this top braid. I'm gonna lay that under there. Do we see what's happening? Do we see what's happening? Do we see what's happening? Do we see what's about to happen? Okay. Again, I'm laying this bald edges, I'm laying this right over there, over that joint. Do you follow? This is the most important part of this finesse. If you don't do this, I don't know, sis. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways. If you don't do this and you still get what you're trying to get, let me know, you know, because I'm down to learn all the ways, right? All right, so I'm using this clip to hold it. I'm putting that right up under there. And I'm gonna use another clip because I don't want this slipping, and I don't, you know, I need that to stay right there. I don't need it to go nowhere, okay? Do you follow? I don't need it to go nowhere. This is where we start to see a little, oh, I see where she's going. All right? So stay with me, people, stay with me. Needle's ready to go. All right. And there is no need for your weave to be so tight that you have a headache. It's thread, it's a needle and thread. It doesn't need to be tight. It's not going anywhere. It's not gonna move. You're not gonna lose any track. It's not gonna slip. It's not glue. So don't pull it super tight. All right, see, that's why I usually keep that clip there, because this joint like to slide around. Alright. So I'm just holding it there. I'm going underneath that braid, around the track, through the dome cap. Seriously. This is where you're gonna see the magic happen. So I'm just taking my time and sewing. I sped it up because you see me sewing throughout this whole video. But just remember, it doesn't need to be super tight. Don't yank this thread through your braid. Pull it slowly and gently. And I'm gonna continue to sew all the way to the back. So it kind of creates like an L shape because I'm going down the front of my hair and then across the back. So it's going over my ears, and I'm just continuing to do that. And then when I get to the back, I'm just gonna fold it. I'm gonna flip it again. And you see me just brushing out any tangles because the hair is wet, but it's drying. So here I am folding it over, getting ready to sew across the back. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna sew around here, and then I'm going to fold right here behind my ear, right there. So real quick, because I'm not gonna show you all that because you already seen me sew it. So go over. So over, again, this is doubled. This is the part that's folded. I'm gonna fold it right here behind my ear, and then I'm gonna go back that last time, okay? Then I'll be back to show you how I'm gonna do the other side. So I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm taking this new bundle, I doubled it, and I am starting right at the top of that braid, and I'm putting that track underneath the braid. braid that's right under there. If you're not confident that you can fold your tracks and keep it really flat in the front, just cut it. Yeah, just cut that track. The only reason why I folded it right there is because these tracks are the weft is really like flexible and thin, so I knew that if I folded it, it wasn't gonna create a bump. But some wefts are kind of thicker and harder to fold. So if you fold it up there and it's like not cute and it's like giving you a little lump situation, just cut it because you won't be able to hide it. But I'm just making sure that I'm sewing it down really flat before I continue to sew back across my head. So if you're a beginner, just cut your tracks in the front. I like to fold it in the back just in case it creates a lump. So I'm getting to the top. I figured out how to make it flat, so. Now I have like smaller pieces because I've cut these bundles. So I'm gonna use the smaller pieces at the top. So, and I also, so this is a double piece, but I'm gonna start to use single tracks. I'm not gonna double them because I don't want it to be bulky at the top. So I'm just gonna try to fill in this gap right there. Almost done. I've sewed in all the bundles. Now I'm just sewing in these random pieces that are like cut from times before when I've used this hair, and I just fill in the gaps with single tracks at the top. I don't want it to be bulky, so I'm not doubling these wefts. I'm just going back and forth and kind of like a U shape until I get to that last track at the top, and I'll show you what I do then. So this is the last track on this side. I'm just cutting it like a little further than that braid, and I'm just gonna lay it flat there over the braid and sew. I'll slow it down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. This part is so important because you want this to be flat and you want your hair to blend and it be so nice. I'm just trimming right here this little piece of the dome cap, and I'm about to measure the track right here to see how much I need to cover this braid. So I'm measuring on top of that braid all the way to the top, all the way to where my edges are, because I'm gonna create like a little flap so it lays over and to the back. So I'm just clipping my hair away so that I can make sure that this braid, this track is flat, okay? So again, we are sewing onto the braid. That little flap is just doing its thing. It's gonna lay. If you're not sure, if your wefts are not like, I don't know, if you feel like your weft is too bulky or it's not laying like you want it to lay, just start it back a little further, it's okay. There is enough hair at the top to cover it. So I don't want to sew all the way at the top of my hairline because that's where my hair is really fragile. So I start sewing onto the corn roll, but I leave a tiny little flap, maybe like a centimeter, in front before I start to sew, and it just covers my edges. Also, I purposely laid the track over the braid, like really close to that part, so that I can get this as flat as possible. So I'm almost just like I'm almost sewing the track like into the part, if that makes sense. So that track is laid over the braid. I'm not like sewing into the braid. I'm sewing it like all the way around the braid, so it's flat. Yes, we are done. So now I'm just gonna spray it, mist it, whatever. I'm done, my hair is dry, I'm finished sewing. I'm just gonna flat iron it a little tiny bit, just so I can put on my scarf and go to bed because it's nighttime now and I'm tired. So that's what you see me doing. I'm just curling the ends and going through the back of my hair so that I can get ready for bed. No product, just doing a one pass on my leave out, and I'm going to just pin curl it in the front and put on my scarf. I'm gonna put some Eco Styler gel on my edges and put on my scarf, and I'll show you what it looks like the next day. Yes, here is the reveal. This is the final look. Came out so good. This style is not a quick style. It takes a minute. Took me a few hours, but I'll be able to have this in for at least a month. So I feel like, you put in the time in the front end and you save so much time on a day-to-day. So this is the look. I hope you guys like it. Let me know. Comment below if you use a dome cap to do your sew-ins. I love using the dome cap, okay? I feel like it just makes it so flat and seamless. So this is me. Check me out. I'm feeling myself, okay? Yes, sis. It's me for me, okay? It's me for me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, please. And check out some of my other videos. Subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this. I make home decor and lifestyle videos. So check out some of my videos right here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.